Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the Internet Dad Show. You know, the enemy of my enemy is also America. That's today's title. Good morning, everybody. I'm JJ.
Morning.
That's Deacon. That's Dave. Have you ever wondered what it would be like if, world players on the world stage were playing a grand game of chess, making moves, power plays, but your leader plays shuffleboard because that's what we have.
There's nothing wrong with shuffleboard.
It ain't chess.
No.
It ain't chess. That's right. Yeah,
It's
good
not even
morning.
checkers. It's
So JJ, your family has been gone all week.
I
How have you
know.
been coping with this?
Darren, look, I don't like it.
What are they doing?
They went up to visit their grandparents and up in North Texas, which is only 250 miles away. So it's no big deal. Anyway, I've been here they went up on Monday morning. So Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, right? It's been 3 days. So let's see what I did. I watched the Game of Thrones episode that came out. Okay, that was great. That was fun. Don't normally get to watch TV shows, so watch that. All right. And then I watched I think Tuesday night I watched like the entire series of some show called what is it? It was some HBO show about it's called Station 11. I watched TV. It just didn't be like, where's my kids? Where's my family? I mean, I call them, but my kids are having a great time. They don't want to talk to me on the phone.
So you see this feeling that you're having now?
Yeah,
That's
it
going
sucks.
to return to you when your children get older and they have lots of stuff to do, activities,
Right.
sports, base,
I don't
friends,
like this.
Just wait till
girlfriends.
college hits, guys. Just wait till college hits. That stunk.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
My oldest
Yeah,
will be
I
a
was-
junior in college this year. And he's got a job this summer. He's gone during the day. I'm gone during the day, so that's not bad. My middle is gone to a 5-week camp. So
Well,
that stinks.
You guys have screwed up, and you haven't changed the world before your kids got old enough for this. But it's still my chance. I can still.
I'm trying to, but I can't get assholes to listen to me.
I'm trying to
I'm
change the world
crazy.
before
You're
my
talking
kids
to the
leave.
wrong end, Deke. You're talking to the wrong end.
Talking to the wrong end.
All right.
Yeah.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. We meet here every every weekday morning between 8 and 9 in the morning. Sometimes we hang out a little extra on our Rumble channel. So make sure to go make sure it's way over there. You can reach it. I can barely reach it. Rumble.com/internetdads. Subscribe on Rumble and hit the little bell. You get a cool pop-up. It'll say the Internet Dads Show is streaming or something like that. And then you should be here. And you can share in chat how sad you are that your kids are too old to.
My kids don't even know I have a podcast.
One day, 50 years from now, they will be going through your records and they'll be like, and your old Twitter account or whatever. And maybe once you tweeted about this and they'll be like, what is this? He had an entire show we had no idea about.
I had a buddy who he's a neighbor. He just died on Sunday morning, heart attack. He's 53, and
Young.
young. He had lived a really rough life, alcoholic, and the last year and a half cleaned up and everything. He's come to church and stuff, and his son stopped by to talk to me about funeral stuff, and he didn't have a clue where his dad was in his faith journey. He knew his dad had been going to church because dad always invited him, and occasionally the son would come. So I just plopped the phone down with all the text messages, and I'm like, read through this list, just read. And it was comforting to the son to see the things that he didn't know his dad was doing. So hopefully one day our kids and our grandkids will watch this show and be proud of us.
I have told
right.
members of my family, if something happens to me, you need to check 3 things on my phone. You need to check the notes. I have a notes right here
Uh-huh.
because
Yep.
Yeah, a bunch.
this is where I put my brain thoughts in my notes.
That's your journal.
That's my journal. You need to check. I have this thing called a voice recorder, and I also have voice notes that when I'm driving down the road, I'll do voice notes, my thoughts. I'm like, what if time is really blah, blah, blah? And check my gallery, my camera, because
Yeah.
I set out and film in the mornings and the cats and stuff, and I talk about stuff. I was filming ants the other day as they were marching along going to this, and it was really cool watching these ants, and it just made me think, I'm like, these freaking ants don't have a clue that I am sitting here observing them just feet away from them. They don't have a clue. They're living
Or
their
do
whole
they?
life. They're living their
No,
whole
they don't
life.
know.
They're doing this stuff, and they don't know that I'm sitting here observing them and watching them, and could destroy them at any time, or could benefit them and help them at any time. So I
Did
just
you
kind of look up at the sky, the same way. I'm like, please don't step on me.
Man, it's crazy that
do
you had that
the
experience, and I
detective-
had that same experience in the yard. I was looking at the ants, and I was like, "This is crazy." And then I dumped like a bunch of a bunch
You
of
are an
ant poison
evil
on.
freaking human. I hope one day you see
You guys
the
can't be
light.
on my yard.
You have
Get out.
never
You have
been
to live
bitten
somewhere
by
else.
fire ants, Deke.
Yes, I have, and my son was tore up by fire ants because we used to have them in the
I
yard.
was in the hospital by fire ants.
But I look at it this way. My daughter was trying, or one of my kids one time when they were little was going to squish a spider for no reason. And I
Yeah, that's
said,
not good.
why are you killing it? Why do you want to kill it? She's like, because it's a spider. I'm like, it's not doing anything to you. It's trying to live its life. Do you think that spider sees you and is like, I'm going to attack you? It's like, well, it tries to bite me. I said, if a big, huge hand was trying to come down to smash me, my ass would be trying to bite it too.
Sure, yeah.
I was like, so leave the why Galactus said this perfectly, right? He said
Hunger
it
Nas.
perfectly. I wish no ill will on any living being. I only do what I must to survive. And I try to look at it that way, because I used to smash bugs, and I'll see a little bug in here, a little, just smash it. Why am I doing that? Why do I just smash a bug when I see it? I hope that the divine powers don't just decide to smash me one day because I'm sitting somewhere where it's inconvenient for them.
Mosquitoes can go to hell.
I'm with you on mosquitoes.
Okay.
Okay. I kill mosquitoes because I'm you can laugh if you want to, but I'm semi-allergic to them. So if they get on me, I smack them. But I've had somebody say this before. JJ, you can laugh, but I've had somebody say this before. Why do mosquitoes exist? Why did God make mosquitoes? Why do they exist? You can actually look this up. Did you know that mosquitoes and malaria have killed countless number of historical leaders? Like Genghis Khan died of malaria. Alexander the Great died of malaria. If mosquitoes weren't around, we would live in a completely different world. So
population control.
There wouldn't be certain animals alive that eat mosquitoes. Bats would suffer. Bats would have to eat something else. You want to get mosquitoes? You want to keep mosquitoes out of your yard? Build a bat box.
Wow, this is interesting. According to sciencehistory.org, which is probably reputable, 35% of European crusaders were killed by mosquitoes.
Exactly. 35%.
84% of the British force that invaded Cartagena in 1727 died of yellow fever. I can't what?
Cartagena. It's not Cartagena or whatever you said.
I don't know.
Whatever you said.
Isn't it South America, Cartagena? That's where they went in Romancing the Stone. Remember that movie with Michael Douglas? And
I don't remember.
That's where they went to Cartagena.
Discount Indiana Jones. 85% of Horatio Nelson's troops in Nicaragua succumbed to dengue yellow fever, and malaria. So why do mosquitoes exist?
Population control.
Apparently, occasionally cull humanity.
Yep.
All right.
Don't kill
Look,
bugs, people. Don't kill
I
spiders
actually
that
read
get in your
somewhere
house.
that mosquitoes are the apex predator for aliens. So as long as we have mosquitoes, we do not have aliens roaming freely on the earth in their revealed forms. And if I didn't read that, I just made that up, and that's going to be one heck of a book.
Yeah.
If,
Come on, ET, get down here.
I'll
Get
just
some.
say this, and then we can move on to our topics. But if you want to go down a very interesting rabbit hole, look up what the Nazi scientists were trying to do with ticks and tick-borne illnesses. They even went as far as to get specific ticks that were known to attach to people better, to read the heat
Oh, yeah.
signatures better, and they were modifying and trying to modify these ticks, all right, with a disease that could wipe out. That's what they were doing. And go and look it
Bioweapons.
up. So after the war, and Russia tried to get all of the Nazi scientists, and we flipped out and we grabbed all the Nazi scientists before Russia did and gave them immunity. You know, you can go through and look at what all those Nazi scientists did, like create NASA and work on biological studies. And there was a disease. There was a little in Maine, or in Massachusetts or Maine. I think it was Maine. There was an animal facility that one of these Nazi scientists went to, that they were working on biological stuff at this animal facility. So one of these Nazi scientists went there. Years later, the town that was across the river from Plum Island, all these people started getting weird symptoms and weird disease, weird stuff that was coming out. And so they didn't know what it was. So they didn't know what to call this disease. So they called it after the town, Lyme, Maine. And now we have this disease called Lyme disease that we know comes from ticks.
Right.
And right across the river from where this disease mysteriously came to be was the animal testing facility that a previous Nazi scientist was hired to oversee, that was in charge of the tick shit that they were doing.
Massive coincidence.
Just a massive coincidence. But if you want to go down that rabbit hole, it's very interesting.
Massive coincidence.
I think in 50 years and 100 years, there won't be any such thing as Lou Gehrig's disease or muscular dystrophy or MS or anything like that. It's all going to be categorized as Lyme disease, kind of like autism is today. You know, we don't have the 14, 15 different things where you say, oh, you have Asperger's or you have this or you have this. It's all in the autism spectrum. I honestly believe, after studying Lyme disease for many years, I honestly believe that most people have Lyme disease, and that in 100 years, they'll be like, oh, well, this was Lyme disease. We just called it this. This was Lyme disease. We just called it
Nazis never stopped killing us, dude. The Nazis never stopped killing us.
Do you support Joe Biden?
No, of course
not. Then
not.
you're a Nazi.
Oh, well, what? No. All right. So look, this is one. Look, yesterday, guys. First of all, on behalf of a certain portion of our audience, I'm offended that neither of you mentioned that yesterday was Juneteenth, and I didn't even know how important Juneteenth was. So I'm
a big deal in Texas. Well, it's nationally, but it's a Texas thing.
In Kentucky, it's August. It was August the 8th in Western Kentucky. It was the Juneteenth. August. We have the August 8th celebration in the Black communities in Kentucky. And I don't know about in your part of Kentucky, but in Western Kentucky, they do. And that is when the word reached Kentucky that the slaves had been freed, was August the 8th. Huh. I have no problem celebrating freedom for any type of.
It should be celebrated.
Absolutely. Right. It should be celebrated. I have no problem celebrating freedom for particular types of people. But what I have a problem with was, did you see what I posted? Where was it in the news?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you see this picture that I posted?
The July 4th one?
This was posted yesterday by Tyson Foods. They were selling T-shirts that had this logo on them right here. Had July 4th marked out and said Juneteenth, 1865, because my ancestors weren't free in 1776. Now, that is a factual statement. You know, everybody wasn't free. But when you do something like this and offer something like this, you are doing nothing to bring people together. This is something to divide people. It's not to show pride. It's not to show heritage or anything like that. This is
Right.
designed to divide people. Us as 3 white people are very happy that black people are not slaves anymore. I don't want anyone
I don't
to
want
be
anybody to be
slaves,
slaves.
but the black people
Right.
aren't slaves in this country
You know
anymore.
who
There are
died a
several
lot to
other
make sure there were
different
no
types of people that are
slaves?
slaves.
There's a lot of white
White
people
people?
died to make sure that there. Yeah. So like, so
My
I don't know.
favorite
This
is when-
seems like so one dimensional to think about things like this.
There are more slaves today, though, than there were
Well, you
back
know,
You're
in
exactly right.
1776.
There's
or,
more slaves
like,
today.
slave trade is ridiculous.
It's one of the biggest
even here in
things
America.
the entire
It's
world.
huge.
Right.
Yeah, the slave trade.
Yeah,
And,
it's not good.
and
Human
if
trafficking.
you don't watch your girls when y'all are out in convenience stores and department stores and stuff like that, JJ, I'm telling you, you need to be on high freaking dad
I'm
alert.
always on head on a swivel.
Especially when they start
getting
getting up to 11, 12, 13, you need to watch it. Don't pay attention to anything else. My girls and their mother were in a department store a couple of months ago, and she was messaging me freaking out because there was some people in there that were following her around, a woman and these other 2, and they were not Caucasians. They were not black people. They were following them around. She could tell that they were everywhere. She said, I specifically went to like one part of the store she'd never go, like the baby section, and they followed her over there. And my daughters were with them. My youngest daughter is 13 years old. But my youngest daughter, I have told her, she knows the parts to grab, squeeze, and twist. The parts to hit with your fingers, eyes, ears, nose, throat. And then I told her, I said, you kick, scream, grab, punch their crotch area. I said, if it's a man, hit them as hard as they can. Punch, kick, scream. But it frightened me. But my ex is one of those that kind of every once in a while she can kind of blow stuff out of proportion and kind of make
sure. Yeah.
And so I kind of tried to take it like
Storytelling.
that, but I can't really take it like that because this is a situation where I don't.
Yeah, you have to err on. If
Err
you're
on the
gonna
side
make
of
an error,
caution.
hell yes.
Yeah. I was watching
Yeah.
a guy in a convenience store one day. My daughter, Kendra, was walking in. She's 19 now. She's probably like 16 then. She's a real skinny, cute little girl. And she was walking in, and I seen these 2 Araby looking guys. As they were walking in, they both kind of looked at each other, and looked back and looked. I was like, oh, I think I need to go inside and see if I need a coffee or something. I'll just go inside with her in here. So I'm always on alert for this kind of stuff.
Hey,
West
Smash
County Fair is
Smash.
going on. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was checking the comments on Rumble, and Smash said something was a wasp. Deke, did you have some interaction with a wasp recently?
That you smashed, that you killed.
Oh, did you kill a wasp?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
She
in the comments.
I remember everything, but she remembers crap that I swear didn't exist. She's like,
Yeah.
you did this. And I'm like, no, I didn't. This is my brain, man.
All right.
So
Let's talk about the news. No, yeah? You got something?
Go
What
ahead.
else you got?
No, I was going
All
to say our county fair is going on, and I let my daughter and all of her friends go to the county fair without mom and I, and that was like really, really hard. Yeah, right. Now this is a small town. It's a small county. Everybody knows everybody, and so there's that. We're leaning on this, and you have to pay to get in, which is a detriment for some. But just trying to. Yes, we need to be vigilant, but we don't need to suffocate the children because they will rebel and then you will lose them.
Or
Absolutely.
keep them in a protective bubble.
But our kids are good kids, man. Our kids know. I don't fear for any of my kids. If Alex or Kendra is going out with their friends or something, I don't have that worry that they're going to get into trouble.
I'm more afraid of who they talk to on the internet when they're playing games like Roblox or whatever.
Fortnite. I am not.
You're not there yet, JJ.
Why?
I'm not giving them any internet yet. No internet
there yet.
Yeah, don't.
Like,
Ashley
it's going to be a while.
Ashley was talking earlier when we was talking about the bugs and stuff. Ashley was talking about my daughter Maggie stepping on a wasp one time, and Maggie she's the baby, and she was my baby.
Right.
All right, and she was my baby, and Ashley tried to tell me, she was like, you treat her different than the other kids. I'm like, no, I don't. And I realized I did because she was my baby. And so one day she was out and she was there was a wasp, and Ashley said she was watching her and she was barefoot and she's walked over and stepped on the wasp and then started crying and all this and blah blah blah. I think it was a wasp or a bee or something. And I was like, no, she didn't do that. And yeah, she did that like right off. That's what she's talking about.
Oh, okay. All right. The news.
Yeah.
Some of the news.
What she said, not being aware of their surroundings and being naive. You need to teach your children that as well. Don't teach them to be crazy people, but you need to teach them to be vigilant and be aware of their surroundings. And don't be naive to certain things. Oh, your mom told me to come pick you up. No, she didn't. You know,
oh, you know, we talk about stranger danger, you know, candy, don't get in people's cars, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
And the being aware thing is one thing that as I was a kid, I don't know. I think I saw it in a movie one time.
My kids are not, well, no, I have 2 kids. They're 5 and 6. So they're very young. My oldest daughter is not aware of her surroundings. She is, no matter what is going on, she is reading a story. She's going over something in her head. She lives inside.
If
and the other one is watching all the stuff, everything, all the time.
Kendra knows everything that's going on, but Alex can, if he's looking at his phone, the world could blow up around him and leave a little spot where he's at, and he would never know. Never know.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah. I have plenty of panic attacks coming in the future, I think. Okay. All right. Here we go. Yes, with something that doesn't worry me as much.
Now for something completely different.
Russia and North Korea will help each other if attacked, taking ties to a new level. This is on CNN, so it's real news. Have we figured out if Russia, China, and North Korea get together, are they the Axis or the Allies? We haven't figured that one out yet, have we?
Well, they have allied with each other.
I mean,
who's the bad guys
here? It's their neighborhood. That's their side of the world, right? Let's see. Thousands of North Koreans chanting "Welcome Putin" lined the city's wide boulevards, brandishing Russian and North Korean flags and bouquets of flowers as Putin kicked off his first visit to North Korea in 24 years with a finely choreographed display of influence and dictatorship. So it seems like, oh, look at them riding in the back. Are they popped up out of the top of a limousine right there?
They are.
Isn't that
the
cute?
reason the people were lining the street shouting Putin in North Korea was because if they didn't, they would be executed.
Yeah.
They were forced to.
Yeah, it can be kind of rough in North Korea, you know.
Just kind of rough.
Kind of rough.
It's all right. You should visit.
Look, North Korea is a nuclear power. North Korea is a hermit kingdom. North Korea they always play the same game, which is, you know, threaten to do something terrible unless we give them money or food or whatever they want at the time. And, you know, they're always threatening their neighbors, South Korea. And, you know, I don't think they're a major player, but having, you know, an agreement between North Korea and China, and North Korea and Russia, and obviously Russia and China are now very economically linked since the Biden administration sanctioned their oil. And, you know, we did all of this stuff in 2022 and 2023 when they launched the Ukraine war. The United States seized assets from Russia. We've effectively pushed Russia out of an economic plane where we were dominant and had them establish their own. And so they're doing great. So now we've got these, and in addition to that, there's Iran, and there's Brazil. There's the BRICS economic bloc that's establishing, but you know, strengthening ties like this makes it very difficult for us to do something like, oh, don't worry, Taiwan, I know we promised that we would defend you, but like that's looking incredibly unlikely, you know. So that side of the world is, I don't know. What do you guys think about? Do you think this changes anything, or has it always been this way? You think it does change?
I think it's always been this way, but it definitely ratchets it up.
Yes.
Just the other day, didn't a couple of South Korean soldiers get shot for accidentally crossing a border?
No, that was North Korea Army accidentally crossed into South Korea, and then South Koreans shot at them.
Okay.
maybe warning shots or whatever.
Yeah, this
But yeah.
concerns me as a student of history that knows about these little skirmishes and little deals and stuff that have happened for the past 300 years between people. When I see something little like this, he hasn't been there in 24 years. Everything else in the world's going on. He's been in a war by proxy with us for a long time. Yes, it's a little concerning to me. And especially when you see additional stories like this. South Korea will consider supplying arms to Ukraine after they signed that pact yesterday. So you move one piece, you move another piece. This guy flexes. This guy gets mad and flexes. They do this. He has a word. And eventually somebody's going to throw a fist. And this is what's scary is that South Korea said today, which was yesterday to them, that it would consider sending arms to Ukraine, a major policy change suggested after Russia and North Korea rattled the region and beyond by signing the pact yesterday. The comments come from senior presidential official came hours after North Korea's state media released the details on the agreement. So that concerns me.
I mean, it definitely seems like sides are lining up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And look, if I was to guess, I mean, like, I honestly don't really think Russia like really wants to interfere with America. They don't really have to do anything at this point. If they wanted to like damage America, they don't really have to do anything. Just let us do what we're doing. We're already tearing ourselves up. But we are, I feel like the United States, CIA, NSA, the 5-letter agencies, the 3-letter agencies, I feel like we are really trying to like interfere with these other places. And of course, they're going to be like, take a defensive posture. And that's what I think this is. This is like turtling up a little bit before you make some other move because, like, you know, they're smart. They don't want to be exposed or get taken advantage of. So that's not good. But what has the Biden administration done to relieve this tension, to de-escalate the situation? $200 billion to Ukraine so they can shoot at Russia for no reason. You know what Russia wants? A warm water port so they can trade. I mean, I don't know. It's nuts. I don't want to see this continue to escalate. Do you think Donald Trump, if he was president, could have impacted things in a different way?
Well, I don't think over $100 billion would have been sent to Ukraine if he was president. I honestly don't believe $100 billion would have been sent.
It's a good point. I mean, Donald Trump was the first president to ever go to NATO and be like, you guys have to pay for your stuff here. We're not paying for everything. And NATO got, whoa. And now what's NATO doing? NATO's pushing for a major conflict with Russia. I think at the very least, you could say that Donald Trump had the foresight to be like, well, this doesn't make sense. We're spending a lot of money and it's leading to conflict. And I don't want to spend money and I don't want conflict. So, yeah, I don't know. Okay. It's not.
Do you have any more politics before we move on?
Let's see.
You had this Biden thing down at the bottom.
Which one?
The commercial that he released.
Oh, yeah. Let me
there's commercials now?
No, it's a campaign. So, yeah, here's.
We had done so well. No commercials.
This is actually, I think, I haven't watched it yet, but I'm anticipating this to be this is a Biden ad, but I'm anticipating it to be a positive ad for Trump.
Okay.
Start all over again.
For the months of the trial, I said numerous times, the entire thing is about Democrats being able to say Donald Trump convicted felon for the election. That's all it was ever about. It was never about records. It was never about, anything else. It was only about putting a convicted felon tag on Donald Trump so that they could say that. Well, now Team Biden the Biden campaign, Joe Biden, I approve this message. The Biden campaign released a convicted felon ad. Let's watch it. Let's watch it. It's right here. No, that's not it. That looks hilarious though. Here we go. This is from Alex Thompson on Twitter. Biden campaign with new ad. The election is between a convicted criminal who's only out for himself and the president who's fighting for your family.
A pedophile.
Come on, why?
That smells little girls and showers with his daughter. Yeah, I'll take the convicted felon.
Yeah.
In the courtroom, we see Donald Trump for who he is. He's been convicted of 34 felonies, found liable for sexual assault, and he committed financial fraud. Meanwhile, Joe Biden's been working.
I'm glad it started
lowering
skipping when they
healthcare
showed Joe
costs
Biden.
and making big corporations who's only out for himself, and a president who's fighting for your family.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this.
Okay, so that's it. So they posted this online, and immediately the Trump campaign said, with their latest ad, Joe Biden and his campaign have essentially admitted that the sham Biden trials are about election interference. Voters see through the Democrats' weaponization of the justice system against Trump. In fact, to data outlined by pollster Tony Fabrizio, voters in our key target states have already made up their minds on this trial. Most voters believe the case was politically motivated. After the Biden's failing campaign spent tens of millions in media buys, he continues to plummet in the polls. Don't expect ads like this to change things. So it was all about producing this commercial. The Donald Trump, bogus cases, wrongfully convicted.
Let me tell you something, JJ. This is some behind the scenes knowledge for you, okay?
Oh, okay. All
that
right.
commercial has been made for 3 months. It's been done for 3 months.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
telling
right.
you, from behind the scenes, inside knowledge here, that
You're right.
commercial has more than likely been completed for 3 months.
Yeah, you're right. I think you're right. I think that it was waiting to go.
I've got spots in here ready to air in August. They're done. They're ready to air in August for certain stuff. That's normal.
Yeah.
That spot was done a long time ago.
Preparing media is normal. Yeah. Rigging an entire justice system so that you can publish your commercial. That's not normal. That's unusual.
All right. Non-political stuff. I got some stuff for you.
All right. Let's go.
This one came out of what?
No, you do whatever. Do whatever. I'm super disinterested in the news. Like today, I'm just in a bad mood because my family's not here.
No, I can tell you didn't start off with you started off the show. You're like, hey, welcome to the show. It's the Unionet Dads. I was like, well, JJ's not in a good mood today.
No, I'm not. I'm sorry.
No,
Not every day can be sunshine.
Yeah, we'll skip that. We'll skip that story. This other story that I had, I think I don't know what y'all think about this. It comes out of Las Vegas. It's actually, I want to know what you think about how the people reacted. So this comes from NBC News. A man who may have been sexually assaulting a woman in Las Vegas was fatally stabbed after a group intervened. This man who may have been sexually assaulting a woman in Las Vegas was fatally stabbed after a group of people intervened to help the victim, they said yesterday. The incident occurred Tuesday afternoon in a shed southeast of downtown Las Vegas. Homicide detectives learned that the group responded after it heard screams coming from the shed, adding that detectives believe the victim was stabbed during the intervention. Everyone in the group fled before authorities arrived. The release does not identify anyone involved in the incident. Patrol officers found the man who may have been involved in the assault with stab wounds in an alley around the corner from the shed. He was taken to a hospital and pronounced dead. Authorities asked people with information to contact the homicide detectives there.
Wow.
What do you think about that? We've seen so many stories in the past where people get killed and stabbed and kidnapped and everything right in full view of pedestrians in like New York and stuff, and they just walk around them. They don't do anything.
What's the edited version of fool around and find out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like,
yes, I agree.
Group mob lynching is not the way to handle this, guys.
Correct.
Seemed to work well back in the day, and since we stopped it, look at what the world has gone to, JJ.
I think I don't know. There's not a lot of details here, but let me tell you, if he was guilty of doing something and that group intervened and he died, and stabbing Why did he get stabbed? And why did
That's what they had on him. No
Because they had
If it-
something on them and they were helping
if they
somebody that
were-
was screaming
if
for
they were
freaking help.
legitimate, then why did they run? Why did
Because
they
they
run?
knew they would get, because look at the freaking society today. They were helping somebody and
Yeah.
they would, I would have gotten out of there too. Let me tell you, throughout history, I know you've seen this in old movies and stuff, but this really happened back in the day. You're walking along the road because the town's up there 3 days from now, and you finally
Yeah.
walk into this town that you've never been to, and there, before you get into the town, are 3 spikes with heads, or a cage with a skeleton or a dead body in it, and it says thief. Are you going to steal anything in that town?
Right. Yeah.
Nope.
I mean, it's
I'm not.
severe, but
Hanging from a tree and it says
I think
adulterer or
this is a
con man.
broken civilization. Like
Yes.
we have no ability to safeguard and protect the weak reliably.
There's no consequences for anything. We've went through society for 50 years, 30 years now with no consequences for anyone. You do something bad, they slap you on the wrist and you're out the next day. It is over and over. It's in it's in a news story every single day in this country. There are no consequences for your actions in this country. And we have gone 20 years like that, 30 years like that. And now we have a whole society of young people who will not admit to their when they're wrong. They will not admit that they're wrong. They will not own up to their failures. And it's madness.
What do we
created?
But that group exercised force and violence on somebody that may or may not have been guilty. And we as a society, and wherever that is, I don't know where that was, but
Las Vegas.
Las Vegas. Okay. Well, the people of Las Vegas either investigate it, investigate it,
because that always works in our society. That always works.
Or admit that you have a broken system that doesn't have justice, that doesn't have
if
law.
we're
There's no
all
law.
hanging
So what do
out
we do when there's no law?
If we're all hanging out in your backyard having some drinks and sitting there talking, and we hear a woman screaming bloody murder,
Right.
and we're like, what the hell? So we run down there and it's coming from a shed. And we open the shed and there's a man and a woman in the shed and she's still screaming bloody murder.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of us is more than I would
For
bet
sure,
the
yeah.
farm that one of us or all of us is going to try to take him off of her.
But I don't think we would leave.
Something would happen. I don't think we would leave, but we're not those. We were brought up a certain way.
I guess that's the point. Right there. If you think that you still have a civilization and culture and you have law enforcement, you have rule of law, you have a society, then if you intervene in a situation like that, you find yourself in a situation that you defend the innocent. But if you still believe you have a society, you would stay and you would document it. You would talk to the police. You would say, here's what would happen. Here's our response.
If you knew in your society that you could get in a lot of freaking trouble because of helping someone and you could get sued, and this act of heroism could ruin your life like it has done countless number of Americans that have done something in a similar position.
What if the helpers were not here legally?
Helpers weren't here legally. The helpers were a group of gangbangers.
You guys are saying
warrants on them.
You guys are saying the same thing I am. We have a broken culture.
Right. There are lots of reasons.
The fact of the matter is that I liked about this story was the fact that people helped.
Yeah.
People helped.
Yeah.
Because it upsets me greatly when you watch one of these videos of something. I watched one not too long ago of a girl in some town, and she was being forcibly put into a car, screaming her head off, and forcibly put into a car in this city, and people are just filming it and watching and not doing anything.
A few years ago, I was teaching at a Bible college, and I'm coming home from that Bible college. I've got a bow tie on and a vest because, I'm really intimidating, right? And I was going to the gun shop to get a new strap for my shotgun. Pull into the gun shop, and there's a guy and a girl yelling like it's ratcheting up, and it looks like they're about to do something. I walk up just holding my shotgun bag, and I'm like, "Hey, what's going on?" We're outside of a gun shop. I don't know if they have weapons or not. All I can see is that it is ratcheting up and it's getting really heated. And so I'm going to intervene, not knowing anything. Now, I did visibly have a weapon on me. I looked like a complete and total nerd because of the bow tie, but I didn't want to blame either side of it because I didn't know the story. I didn't know the situation.
Right.
In
Right.
this situation, there's the possibility that the woman was not the victim, the woman who is claiming to be sexually assaulted. That is
Right.
always on the table, but we tend to, because most of the time it's not the woman. The woman
That's
is
the
the
aggressor.
victim most of the time.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But that does happen. So there was a lot of actions that happened, I guess, in this story.
I think that, you know, in the version of reality where the woman is a victim, the man was assaulting her in a shed, right? We can, and if those things are true, giant asterisk right there, then yeah, we can co-sign some mob intervention, but we don't know what's true. We don't know what's true, which is why we're supposed to, as a culture, as a city, as a state, or whatever, we're supposed to have defer power to law enforcement, give them the ability to intervene rapidly and investigate things.
The problem is
but bleeding resources and
yeah, that's all perfect on paper. But the problem is we've gone through so many years now, so many decades now of not. I don't know if I rely on the law enforcement as much as I did 20 years ago. When something happens, like if something happened, the first thought would be, "Oh, we got to call the cops." That's not my first thought anymore, because
we've already seen that.
We've lived in a society where the cops don't always help you. And
not
I'm
only that,
I mean, that's what the media tells you, but
during the
pandemic, real videos too.
During the pandemic, a lot of good cops were kicked off the force
you're exactly right.
not taking the vaccine, for not closing businesses in various places and states. Hey, you can't. The governor unlawfully said you're not allowed to be open. You can't do anything, and the cops were like, don't care. They pay us. We're okay. And they shut it down. A lot of good cops left the force, and we're left with bad cops. We're left with a lot less good cops, for sure. We read in the story yesterday that Seattle has such a difficulty having any kind of police, because they defunded the police, and that they're essentially importing foreigners,
right?
Okay, illegal criminal aliens to be their police force. You think they are going to stick up for your rights?
Yeah.
So, I mean, we have a real problem. I think this problem has to do with the the people that were there should have stayed.
They could have just beat the crap out of the dude and subdued him and held him. I mean, it was a mob against one guy.
I mean, there's mob mentality.
I have a problem with that.
We don't know what happened during the scuffle. Because they could have been trying to pull him away. He had a knife. He swung it. It got blocked, and they got. Who knows? We don't know what happened. So to speculate on it for another 20 minutes is silly.
Yeah, right. Well, but this story can go another way. Oh wow, we saw that people let the guy slide if he got stabbed. If we said it was a sexual assault or so.
I don't think it's gonna. I think that's taking it to the extreme. I think the main thing that we need to get out of this is the fact that freaking people helped someone in a society where where it was greatly getting to the fact where people ignore you and they don't care. These people helped someone. I wish we would get back to that society. I'm always the first person to run and help. When I told y'all about the accident that I saw like couple of months ago or whatnot, and all of the freaking burly guys driving the big trucks, you got to have a trampoline to get into the damn thing. They stood there and watched, and my ass is running across the freaking field to go see if this person was okay in his car that just had a horrific accident. I'm not a medical person. I've taken CPR like 3 times, but it's been so long ago I don't even remember. I wouldn't even try it. So people don't do that crap anymore. It just irritates me. All right, I got a couple of entertainment stories here for you. I think you'll like the second one.
Good.
So if y'all both, I'm assuming, have seen the masterpiece by the crazy man Stanley Kubrick's called Full Metal Jacket, right? Y'all have seen Full Metal Jacket, I'm sure.
long
I've
time
seen
ago.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a
All right,
while.
great movie, you know. All right. So if you looked up Full Metal Jacket on Amazon Prime, you're going to get this picture right here. You see this one right here with the helmet, the
Yeah.
classic picture of the helmet? Do
That's
you
not the
see
helmet.
anything wrong with that helmet?
Yeah, it's missing stuff.
It's
Yeah,
missing. What is it
that's-
missing?
That's been
Missing
why'd
words
they
and
It's missing the
Photoshopped it.
words. It's missing the words
Born to
born
Kill.
to kill. All right. So
Yeah.
Amazon took off the edited version of this piece of artwork that was made for the film and they put it up. Well, Matthew Modine here, that played Private Joker, the main character in the freaking movie, he's like, who decided to remove Born to Kill? Not only did they alter a piece of iconic art by Philip Castle, but they completely misunderstood the point of it being there. Private Joker wears the helmet with Born to Kill and the peace button as a statement about the duality of man. He even says it in the...
Everybody turned up got shot. Some they buried alive.
Right?
Here's the Colonel coming over.
Colonel?
There's Private Joker right here.
Marine, what is that button on your body armor?
A peace symbol, sir.
Where'd you get it?
I don't remember, sir.
What is that you've got written on your helmet?
Born to kill, sir.
You write Born to Kill on your helmet and you wear a peace button. What's that supposed to be? Some kind of sick joke?
No, sir.
What is it supposed to mean?
I don't know, sir.
You don't know very much, do you?
No, sir.
You better get your head and your ass wired together or I will take a giant shit on you.
Yes, sir.
Now answer my question or you'll be standing tall before the man.
I think I was trying to suggest something about the duality of man, sir.
The what?
The duality of man, the Jungian thing, sir.
Whose side are you on, son?
Our side, sir.
Don't you love your country?
Yes, sir.
Then how about getting with the program? Why don't you jump on the team and come on in for the big win?
Yes, sir.
Son,
See, if they'd have just watched the damn movie, they would have seen. But of course, somebody was probably offended by the word kill, and we don't need it more to kill. But that's, I mean, most of
Born
Stanley
to
Kubrick's
unalive.
most of Stanley Kubrick's movies were about the duality of man.
Yes.
Have you seen Clockwork Orange? Jesus Christ. That is the duality of man. So after he posted this, Amazon took down that edited picture, and now this, a screenshot from the movie, is what you will get on Amazon.
Wow.
When you look
So
it up.
they're like, well, we don't want to obviously backpedal. So instead of putting the actual poster art that's supposed to be there, we'll just take us. Okay.
Yep. So I thought
Big
y'all like
balls
that
there,
one.
Amazon.
JJ, you will love this story. I only put this up here for you because
Okay.
I know you are a huge fan. If right off camera where people can't see is a cardboard a cardboard stand-up cutout of Alec Baldwin over there.
Oh my
And
God. man.
Alec Baldwin's got a new
I
reality.
stand behind
TV
it all the
series.
time.
We're standing way behind Alec Baldwin. But he's got that new reality TV series that we told you about that's coming up with him and his family. Well, you recognize this guy right here?
Oh yeah. That
John-
guy's got 8
John
kids, right?
Gosselin. Yeah, he had 150 kids with that girl, and they
Yeah.
had the TV show. And the
Yeah.
TV show ruined his life. I think he cheated
Well,
on his wife or something.
Yeah,
I think
he
his own
ruined
life.
his own life
Yeah,
on
he probably
camera,
ruined his
but
own
sure.
life. But the cameras probably didn't help everything in his life. You know that
No,
that
yeah.
elevated him to a
you're
spot
gonna
where he
be
probably
a,
made some decisions.
POS human being, you should probably not broadcast it.
Well, I don't know if he's a POS. I'm not going to say that. He made a choice, and he had
All right.
consequences from that choice
All
that
right.
affected his life. If you call him a piece of shit, you're calling me a piece of shit too. Because I did the same
I'm not.
thing.
I'm not
I did
doing
the
that.
same thing to my
No.
ex-wife. I did the same thing, and I'll admit
All
it,
right.
and I'll tell everybody the whole story because I think people need to hear my story about it.
I
to
am
grow.
not equating you. I'm not equating you.
I know, but okay, but you know,
I did a lot of things. Okay.
Right.
Go
I
on.
did too. But John Gosselin there basically told Alec Baldwin that this is probably not a good idea. if you want to have you're going to create a lot more problems in your life with this reality
For
show.
real.
if you
Alec
do
Baldwin, you're in front of the camera. You're not editing the footage. And you think
that.
when the producer comes down to it, like, we got to make sure Alec Baldwin looks good in this. Or you think they're like, we got to make sure people watch this show so that I get a
Watch the
paycheck.
show. And who's going to watch that show? Do you think a bunch of men are going to watch a reality show about Alec Baldwin and his family,
No.
or do you think women are? Oh, okay. Well, what happens in all the women's shows? Fights nonstop. It is nonstop drama on all those shows. The Real Housewives shows, I've watched some of those. It's nothing but fights through the whole show.
Yeah.
I mean, it's and women, I think they love it. Where guys are just kind of like, John Wick, kill a bunch of people. Women like the verbal altercation back to back, and I just don't.
I just rarely watch TV, so I don't care.
Oh no, I'm a TV buff. I'm y'all know me. I'm a storyteller. I like stories, and that's my hobby is watching TVs and movies and stuff and listening to music. Music, you say, Deke?
Yeah, do music. Go ahead. I'm going to remind you. You had your sports story that you were going to do today.
I had the 10 Commandments story too.
Oh, you had the 10 Commandments story too. Let me do the sports story in case any of you out there are interested. Maybe you've been wanting to play football. Maybe you like playing football. Maybe you just you realize
like getting hit so much.
Yeah, maybe you realized early on, maybe like JJ, you didn't want to get hit so much, or you weren't good enough. Have you ever played flag football? You know,
I have played flag football a couple times. It's a little more touchy, though.
It is a lot more touchy because the flag hangs off near the butt or groin area,
right?
And you have to reach for the butt or groin area of your opponent to grab.
Go on.
And sometimes you might miss the flag. Sometimes you might actually grab them.
Look, nobody's perfect. Accidents happen.
But we've got a new flag football league. If you want to, try out the Buffalo, the Buffalo Bills are sponsoring the National Gay Flag Football League chapter in Buffalo. I mean, you'll have to go to New York, but I'm sure there might be one around here. So this is the National Gay Flag Football League, the NGFFL, but you guys already knew that. It
does not roll off the tongue very well.
They are a nonprofit sports organization that seeks to promote the positive social and athletic enjoyment of American flag football. Well, that's great. I think that's
good for
wonderful.
them. Yeah. They got a big sponsorship deal.
They got a sponsorship deal. I'm very excited for them. So
good for them.
Just want to let you know that may be on ESPN 14 if you subscribe.
I have a question though. Okay, so I mean, I get like NFL, big sports, big money, big TV. I get that. And I can even and I can understand like a national flag football league where like, we're not professionals, but we have a whole league of people that enjoy playing flag football and we can all play this game. How does the gay part like fit into that?
Because why can't they just play regular football? And why does there have to be a gay league? Why, like, just play. There are gay football players. There are good football players.
Reaching and grabbing at butts.
I'm asking if like somehow the football part of it is part of the name and part of the game. So is the gay part also part of the game? Like, is it an active element? I
don't know, and I'm not watching a game to find out if that's an element.
All right.
So thank you. We're going to move on. Jeez, before JJ's brain keeps going.
All right. I'm going to throw this article up because,
All right.
Let me know when you're good there. Y'all got it?
Oh, yeah. Here. Yeah, here you go.
I don't know when you got it because I'm on that screen now. Louisiana orders every classroom to display the 10 Commandments. So basically, you know that this is going to be yelled at separation of church and state,
which was written in a Thomas Jefferson document, and that is not in the Constitution anywhere.
Correct.
That was written by Thomas Jefferson. That it was an idea that he was like.
Well, yeah, it says it's blatantly unconstitutional. Which, okay, first of all, you're right. There's nothing in the Constitution about this at all. And the thing that I argue with, I'll turn my sharing off here, is Christians do this all the time, and it irks me.
I know what you're going to say because it irks me too.
I posted it already too. We are not under the law. Stop it. Stop with the 10 Commandments. We are not under the law. We are under grace. Now, that doesn't mean the law doesn't exist. The law still exists. It's there, and we should abide by the law, but we do not abide under the law. They're great laws. They're great moral laws.
Morals.
we hold them up as like, in a way they should not be held up. They are, the law is not destroyed in any way, shape, or form, but they are for the Jewish people, God's people. Hey, here's God's law for
Yes.
God's
And
people.
Okay.
and let me let you in on something else that you probably, I know Dave knows that maybe our listeners don't know. There's not just 10. There's not
No,
just
there's
10.
611, but the 10
13.
commandments are, look, I'm gonna devil's advocate here a little bit. That's ironic, I guess. The 10 commandments, yes, they are a part of a religious text and religious law, but they are also part of the context of the evolution of Western
Yes.
civilization.
100%.
So they are
100%.
a bedrock milestone in the development of Western culture, and as such, you cannot just pretend that they didn't happen if you're
Right.
going to be historical.
To appease
And
these
look
people
look
that
at look at what else is in that photo right there. In that photo, you have
Very close and
you
it's
have
gone.
oh, okay. Well, if you look in that photo, you'll see that there's essentially two tablet looking things with the 10 commandments on it, and then in another one there's the Declaration of Independence, and in another one there's something else.
So do you think that because of that statement, do you think that we should take those 10 laws and rewrite them to where they sound the exact same thing and not call it the 10 commandments, so that when people see
We
the 10
did.
commandments,
No.
they don't automatically associate it with Christianity? Because I don't like
No.
Christians and I ain't
Well,
following that. But if it was
no,
just a
so-
normal,
I think that
They shouldn't.
the wild people out there need to come to grips with the fact that you live in a culture that is derived from a culture that took that as an important part of the social mechanic and has built upon that. You cannot erase it. You cannot change history.
The 10 Commandments do not promote any one religion. And that's something that should be, if a text or something is, I'll use
Eight of the
Christian
10
terms.
don't.
I haven't.
If it's evangelical, if its purpose is proselytizing, bringing individuals into their faith, then I think there can be a argument about the whole separation of church and state. Which again, yeah, that's one of Jefferson's letters. Lady was afraid that the Danbury letter,
Yeah,
1802.
And that's what Ashley just said there a second ago, and I haven't been reading this because she was talking. She made some really good
Mhm.
points when we were talking
Oh
about
my gosh, Ashley.
the victim was stabbed. But she says the context of the Jefferson letter was
Yes.
to keep the state out of religion, not
Yeah.
vice versa, to avoid having
Well, there-
state religion, what our ancestors left
Yeah.
England for. They
Right.
left England because they had state religion, and that's why he said that.
In the
She's exactly
60s,
right.
62 was the first time the letter was read in court without context, just that keep a wall of separation high between church and state, or to whatever that the
But
exact
Jefferson
verbiage
Jefferson,
was.
didn't he also write in one of his letters? I mean, there's a theory that Jefferson had autism because of the way that he wrote everything and documented it. He wore the same clothes over and over again. They had to force him to change his clothes. But didn't he also state that this Constitution or Bill of Rights should be amended every so often because generations are going to have different stuff? I mean, he said that. He said that this we're writing today is not going to be feasible in 200 years. He basically said that. He was a smart
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're supposed to regularly like convene and, ratify things.
Right.
But we don't do that.
But now we're controlled by media companies and CEOs and
Oligarchs. Sure. Yeah.
all right, we've
All
gone
right.
long today.
I'm
Sorry,
okay with the
sorry.
10 Commandments being everywhere. That's fine with me. But
I'm too- I don't
don't
have
call
a
it a
problem with
Christian document. It's a Judeo-Christian document if you want to do that. But
Yeah,
It's
but I
not
think it's probably more
explicitly
of a
Christian.
context of the development of law and history, if I'm
it should
guessing.
be. That's where it should be.
All right. Okay. What else? Did you do music? You did music,
We
right?
didn't
You
do
didn't do
music.
music.
Nope.
We
Do
didn't do
music.
All right,
music.
get your music. Your song of the day. Y'all are going to remember this one. Our theme this week is hot. Remember hot. Y'all remember Bananarama? You don't know the song? remember that.
All right.
That was redone years later.
Was it really?
Yeah, it was redone by a popular band, and it got on the radio for a while. The actual cover, and it did very well. And I cannot remember off the top of my head.
Ooh, happy first day of
Who
summer,
did
by
we-
the way. That song reminded me. It's the first day of summer.
Taylor Swift.
Is it
It's not
really?
Taylor
Yeah.
Swift.
We should still
Yeah,
be like a
today's
day
the,
or two
today's
from
the
the
summer solstice.
Is it
Today is the
really? I
longest
thought it
day
was
of
the
the year.
22nd. Why did I think it was the 22nd?
I don't remember who did the Cruel Summer remake years ago, but that's your song of
All
the day.
right.
Right. I got a good one for you tomorrow.
All right. Hey, we end the show every single day with the hilarious joke.
In the joke.
How did Thomas
show
Edison
is a-
invent the light bulb?
What now?
How did Thomas Edison invent the light bulb?
I don't know.
He had a bright idea. Yeah, it's fair.
Why
Okay.
did the kid have string beans stuck up his nose?
I don't know why.
He wasn't eating right.
that's actually good.
So my son's car is broke, his truck, my truck, and it's the muffler. So I actually dreamed about the muffler the other night and how to fix it. I woke up exhausted.
Mm.
JJ still doesn't.
I don't know why the button's not going. There we go.
Oh,
All
JJ's
right.
trying
Thanks
to
for
hit the
hanging out.
button. It's not going.
Yeah, yeah.
There we go.
All right. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye, everybody.
Politicians and talking heads lying left and right. You can help us bring facts into the light. Don't let your daughter lose her next swim meet to a psychopath dude with fake teeth. Essay or a comment, he said no. Watch now, the internet dad show. Subscribe quick, the squid monster's on the way. Inspire with us tomorrow's news today. Oh yeah.
Awkward silence.